Hey folks, producer James here, and at the Libra Lounge, we love to hear ourselves talk, but we also love to hear other people talk sometimes. We love podcasts. Recently, we had comedian Anthony Janot on the show, and he told us all about his podcast, Highbrow Drivel. Highbrow Drivel is a show where Anthony brings on one expert in a big field of study and brings along one of his other comedian friends to have a big conversation about big topics in a big way. Which really just means the one smart person in the room schooling the other two jackasses who are just trying to crack jokes in the back of the class. It's a great time. It's a great podcast, a lot of fun, lots of laughs, and you'll definitely learn something, I promise. You can catch them on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and their website is www.highbrowdrivel.com. It is absolutely Libra Lounge endorsed and approved. So please go like and subscribe today. That's Highbrow Drivel with Anthony Janot.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. Sorry we did not have a show last week, but bitch got into a wreck on my way to do a show last week. My beloved Chevy Silverado is no longer with us. We had to say goodbye to Star. It was sad. Had Star for 2 years, and Star was good for me, you know. Star was part of me riding dirty, you know. Star was part of me doing hood rat shit with my hood rat friends. So let's all take a moment of silence and give some respect to Star.
You want to tell them about the new one?
Oh, but however, sorry, Kenny. I'm going to introduce my guest in just a second. But however, Star is gone, but summer has arrived. Producer James, see, this is why you marry white men. Producer James got me a Land Rover, and I'm quite happy about it.
Ballin'.
I'm just getting ready for the Real Housewives of Houston whenever they decide to come down here and expand the franchise. I'm ready. I got the white man. I got the light-skinned little girl. I got the business. I got the house. I got, now I've got the Land Rover. What else do I need to do? This is it.
I guess get divorced. Get the hell
I
out
can
of
do
here.
it.
You need connections in the Bravo. You need connections at the Bravo.
I think I got one. So you never know.
We may have to talk on the side.
I love talking on the side. That I'm all about talking on the side, because that's when real shit happens, is on the side. Those conversations, that's where it all really goes down. So the extra voice that you hear is my special guest this evening, Kenny Alexander, business owner. Not just business owner, but let me tell you what kind. He has a outdoor hunting business, and he also can bake. I'm just going to put it like this. Kenny, if things don't work out between producer James and I, we can make it work. I'm just saying.
Absolutely,
Yes,
we could.
I think so. So Kenny's going to be with us throughout the whole show, which we're super excited about, because if you're a friend of the Libra Lounge, you know what time it is. It is time for the Gab.
We know she has a really big mouth, which sounds kind of dirty, and that's probably true too. Let's gossip. The Gab with Keisha.
All righty. So Miss Khloe Kardashian is all over the news yet once again for several different reasons, but we're just going to focus on two of the reasons. One of them is not going to come as a surprise, but her and Tristan Thompson have broken up again. Look, Khloe, when you date an NBA star, the B stands for bitch and the A stands for assness. And I mean, we can say the N stands for Negro. That's the one she likes to date.
No.
we can't say Negro.
Well, Kenny can't.
But,
I can't. You can.
Okay, I'm your black card for tonight. You can say whatever you want.
Pass.
You've got the black seal of approval for this evening. So, producer James has it, but when he pisses me off, I'll be like, I don't know him. That sounded racist to my ears, too. So is it a huge surprise to you, Kenny, that Chloe and Tristan are no longer together?
No,
Me
but
neither.
just give it 6 weeks. Give it 6 weeks.
To me, I get it. They have a daughter together. But I've said it once before, and I stand behind it. He just looks like a koala in they put a koala head on top of an NBA player's body. The boy looks like a straight up koala bear. He probably has that nasty disease that koala bears have too. What do they have? Gonorrhea or syphilis?
Chlamydia.
He probably got that too.
Chlamydia.
He just looks like a fucking koala bear to me. I'm sorry, I don't get it.
He's been traveling. He's traveling.
Yeah.
Just all around.
Yeah.
All around.
So reportedly, he was seen going somewhere to a hotel with 3 other women in the last couple of weeks or so. I don't know. You cannot turn an NBA player into a house husband. It just doesn't work like that.
No.
I mean, part of the NBA code is you have to sign a contract that you promise to be a hoe for at least 2 seasons of your career. You have to be a hoe.
Yes.
But
Hashtag.
I feel bad for Chloe.
Why?
But then I don't feel bad for Chloe. I don't know.
Well, she just keeps coming back around. She keeps coming back around, and sometimes you just got to cut it loose.
Yeah,
Set it free.
Yeah, I don't think she likes it. I mean, look how she was with Lamar.
Well.
Yeah, and
I know.
And do y'all remember that Lamar when he was like totally coked and cracked out before he almost died? That one time he almost died. He told a reporter that Chloe's vagina smelled like the back of a person's ear, like the dirty part. Like, who said that? But that's some funny shit.
But that's how you know.
But here's my question: why are you smelling the back of somebody's ear?
Because he's an NBA player. They
You just rub the back of your ear? I don't know.
I was like, I've heard a lot of comparisons to the vaginal scent, but that was a new one. I mean, to say that someone smelled like the back of an ear that's dirty, that's pretty bad.
See, but that's so specific. It has to be.
It has to be true. Like, it cannot. You're right. It's so bad that it has to be true.
It's so that thing.
Yeah, that's just too many details in that. Like, okay, for him to say, what, her vagina stinks. Oh, you're probably just mad. But he said it smelled like the back. No, he said it smelled like the back of an earring when it's been dirty, when it's got the little black stuff on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty specific.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think it may be a little bit of truth to that. But I mean, it's nothing that like a little bit of summer's eve and a trip to the gynecologist can't fix for. I mean, if that's the case.
Well.
So did you hear that Chloe has kind of admitted, well, she did admit that she did have a nose job done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and you can tell from previous,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can most definitely tell. And I know for a while maybe it was during that time that she was thinking about doing it, because she's always said, if I did anything to my face, it would be a nose job. But even though we know it's been fillers, Botox, and a whole bunch of other shit going on. But she did finally say that she did have a nose job. And she said the reason why she hadn't told anyone is because no one even asked her about it. Which I guess if no one asks, you don't have to.
What? Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, I mean, because the Kardashians are pretty open about their. I mean, they kind of have to be open about the plastic surgery that they get, because some of that shit they do is not human-like. It's like, ooh, like, are we supposed to look like that? Like, okay.
Right.
But in her defense,
yeah,
I started watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians from the very first episode. Now, I fell off some years ago. But can you only imagine that everyone calls you the ugly sister? They constantly talk about your weight. That's got to be a lot.
Well, I can kind of relate.
How can you relate?
I wasn't the cute one.
I've always had.
I'm just like wine. I got better looking.
See? And here's the thing. If someone came and told me right now, hey, here is whatever plastic surgery you want, you can have. It's going to be on us. Okay. I'm going to seize that opportunity, but I don't think I would do anything to my face. I would be like, give me liposuction from the chin to my big toe. I want that. Take out a couple of ribs. I don't really need, like, how many do we have? 6, 12? How many ribs do we have?
I don't remember.
He's gonna be.
Sorry for the specific answer.
Sometimes I say dumb shit so dumb that it makes producer James a little bit dumb too. How many ribs? We have 6 ribs on each side, right?
I can't remember if it's 12 or 14.
Is it 3? Why did people call it a 6-pack? So it's.
That's your stomach.
Well, Janet had it done. Why couldn't we?
And Janet still looks really, really good. And she's what?
93.
She's up there in age, and she had a baby like what, 2-3 years ago. She still looks good.
3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so I most definitely would get my body done, but I don't know if I do anything to my face. It's just something about the face that I'm just like, oh, then it wouldn't be so much me. I don't know.
I mean, it is the primary part of somebody's physical identity.
Right. I mean, when people see you, they see your face first. But on the flip side of it, I would not constantly want to be compared to Kim Kardashian, who...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Even before all the work, Kim has always been very pretty, very attractive. And Kourtney's attractive. And then you've got Kendall, who's a model. And then you've got Kylie, who...
Which one's the big Sasquatch?
That's Chloe. He called her Sasquatch. See,
Look.
She's had to deal with things like that.
That's a huge bitch.
She looks, then people keep telling her that OJ's her real dad. She's had to deal with a lot of scrutiny about her looks. I feel bad for her. But I'm glad she's...
What's that saying in the South? Bless her heart.
Yeah, it really... But you know what? I would be willing to take a lot of scrutiny about my looks if I had like $50 million in the bank. Bitch, you can say whatever you want to me because at the end of the day, I'm still rich. So,
going to the bank.
Exactly. So, bitch, while you on social media calling me fat, I'm on my way to the bank right now. And it has a lot of zeros behind my total in the bank right now. So,
yeah.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians is finally coming to the end. I think they just had the reunion, or they just got done filming the reunion with Andy Cohen, which I didn't understand how that crossover kind of started. And it's making me think, are they really about to go to Bravo TV? What do you think about that?
There's rumors.
I mean, they've been on E! all this time, which is Ryan Seacrest is one of the big producers of their show. So why would they go to Andy Cohen to do their reunion show?
Well, what network is it going to air on?
E!
Okay. Well, Andy Cohen's there for a reason. I'm
exactly.
Sure.
So I don't think we've seen the end of the Kardashians as far as reality TV goes.
No.
Yeah, and we got to see how much crazy
Conway will pick it up.
I think so too.
Either that or botched.
But Botch is on E! Network as well.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to see how much more crazy Kanye can get, because some of it's kind of funny. I do feel bad for him, but I mean, if you're gonna act a fool in public, at least be funny. And I mean, his shit's pretty funny. Just
right.
He's a whole hot mess. But I will tell you something that the Kardashians did that it made them more human. When it was a couple of weeks ago, it was Kanye's birthday. And I know for a fact, Kim and Khloe got on and they made posts to Kanye telling him happy birthday and how much they love him, how he's forever a part of their family. Which was pretty nice considering that he was like in another country fucking that one model. What's her name? Irina, or something like that. I would have been like, I ain't telling him happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that bitch
but
over there.
If you divorce from that family or break up from that family, do you ever leave the family?
I don't think you can ever just leave the Kardashians.
No.
You just can't. I mean, you can leave, but then you go crazy and you're a black man walking around with blue contacts and blonde hair. I mean, and then look what they did to poor Bruce. I mean... They did poor
just
Bruce.
went the opposite direction.
Yeah, Bruce basically said, if you can't beat him, I guess you're showing him. So he just became Caitlyn.
And then I'm gonna be as pretty as they are.
I get it. I get it. So we had a little bit more on the gab, but it really wasn't important stuff. There was way more fun talking about the Kardashians. But when we get back from this break, I'm going to officially introduce the Libra Lounge audience to Kenny Alexander, and we will be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to Libra Lounge with Keisha. I am so excited to introduce my next guest, and part of the reason I'm so excited is because this is someone who's from our own hometown, graduated from the same high school, and I think he may have some dirt on producer James, and I want to get it all because I always look for a reason to have more material to make fun of producer James with. So, Kenny, introduce yourself to the Libra Lounge audience.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm Kenny Alexander, born and raised in Dickinson, Texas. Class of '93. So dating my age. I'm hitting that 50 mark. I'm getting close. I'm getting
real close. Yeah, we're right behind you.
Yeah, I'm getting real close to the 50 mark.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's hard, but
you're gonna be 50 and fine because you're cute.
I don't look 47, that's for sure. At least that's what I get told all the time.
You don't look 47. No, you really don't. And I'm an asshole. If you really did, I'd be like, yeah, you do. Those are people who are lying. You look 47. All look 47. But no, you really look much younger than 47. So give us a little bit about your background, Kenny.
So, James knows me pretty well, actually. It's kind of crazy growing up in Dickinson, also where my parents were born and raised as well. Mm-hmm. Heavily involved in sports. I was heavily involved in things there at the school and in the community as well. And left that area and went off to Sam Houston. And after graduating Sam Houston, moved back for just a little while. I actually taught at Dickinson for 2 years.
Okay.
Right out of college. So that would have been right after y'all graduated is when I came back and taught.
Okay.
So 98, 99 time frame.
Okay.
And then left that area and went to North Texas and lived in North Texas the last 20-something years, and now living in the hill country of New Braunfels,
nice.
Texas.
Nice.
And right now we're glamping as you speak right now because we closed on our new house on Friday.
Congratulations. And I love the fact that you mentioned glamping because I had someone who was in my boutique earlier and they said something about camping. I'm like, ugh, what's that? Camping. I'm like, glamping. I'm more glamping like, Was
it Aaron? Was Aaron up in there talking about camping?
How did you?
It was, wasn't it?
It was.
You can't trust her. You can't trust none of those girls. Don't trust any of them.
Her and her mama were up here, and they said camping. I'm like, ooh, like with bugs outside. I think I said outside. They were like, yeah, that's where camping happens. I'm like, not the way I do. Troop Beverly Hills kind of camping.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was it like growing up gay? Spoiler alert. In Dickinson.
Hey, nobody really knew that I was gay back then.
Oh,
James, stop laughing. I think I knew back then, mm-hmm. but I didn't really know back then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really until I left Dickinson, mm-hmm. If you will, and really got off to college and was able to start figuring myself out,
right?
If you will.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up, with this whole thought process of not being accepted, if you will.
Yeah.
And prime example, to be honest with you, there's a lot of folks that don't talk to me anymore, that did talk to me. So it hadn't changed who I am. I'm still the crazy person that I was growing up in high school and still the outgoing person, still heavily involved in sports. still play golf as much as I can. I just got through, literally just finished traveling all over the United States playing competitive softball up until the age of 44.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it hadn't changed. And then, you know, you add into that of growing up as a hunter. You know, I grew up at hunting and fishing and camping, if you will, you know, and doing those things. So I think that growing up in Dickinson, I just went with the flow. I did what I felt like society felt like I needed to do and be. And that's who I was. And that's what I needed to do until I got out of the area, to be honest with you.
And I want to piggyback off something that you said. You know, we were programmed to think that all gay men had to fit inside of this box. Like, gay men all had to be like, I was born a drag queen. So, so I've always gotten it. But we're always told that if you are a gay man, you have to be over the top, feminine, dressed with wigs, have a high-pitched voice. You most definitely don't play sports. You don't hunt. You don't do anything manly. Everything is ultra feminine, and that's just not the case at all.
No, it's not. You know, and James knows this too, is that I also rodeoed, and I raced steers growing up as well. And so you're right. We have this mentality, and I'm so glad that we're going to talk about OutSportsman later, because it's going to, I think, tie all of this in together of what we're speaking about. And you're right. I think that the television perceives the gay community a certain way, or the lesbian community a certain way.
Right.
And it's not really who we are. You know, it's not what being gay doesn't identify me.
Right.
You know, it just happens to be who I am in love with, happens to be another man.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I can honestly say that most hetero relationships don't last as long as we have, because we're celebrating 17 years this July. And so, you know, so most people, you know, get married, get divorced, and I can say that even in the gay community, we've lasted longer than a lot of our own friends, just because people just start, you know, sneaking around and doing other things. But I've been blessed with the person that I found.
You know, I had quite a few male gay friends in junior high and high school. Now, granted, if you were a gay boy at Dickinson High School, I probably had a crush on you at some point, because I just did. You know, that's who I was attracted to. I realized that a couple of times I was a beard before I even knew what a beard was. But I actually have someone that James and I regraduated with, who was able to come out, but, you know, he had to move away and things like that. And it saddens me that you have to move away from your home to fully be able to feel free enough to come out. But our town, for people that don't know, I mean, our town is pretty, James?
So Dickinson is a small town.
Yeah.
It's not as like rural as some, you know, Dust Bowl, Dalhart, middle of the, you know, it's still right outside of Houston. So it's still pretty modern for a small Texas town.
Especially now, but go back to 1993.
Yeah, but
oh gosh,
it's still closed-minded. It's still racist. It still got a lot of bumps, and especially did, you know, 25 years ago for sure.
Yeah, so I can't even imagine how it was being a teenager. You're trying to figure yourself out.
Well, and not only that, I mean, Kenny, you were part of you're part of the ag, you know, the ag scene, you know, rodeoing, all that, which is in some cases, a hyper toxic kind of masculine community. I mean, there's a lot of just assholes that do that just because that's kind of the mentality.
Yeah.
It is, you know, it is. And then, you know, for me, and not everybody's this way, but, for me, my parents grew up in that town. My father grew up in that town. And the people that I ran around with, the 20 of us that ran together and were always together, I can honestly say I still talk to every single one of them, and they've been very supportive.
That's awesome.
But it was their parents were friends with my parents in high school. And so it was this thing that I had to really, just bury things deep down.
Yeah.
And just go with the flow, like I said. And, I dated a lot of girls. I did. I dated a lot of girls. I dated one in particular for a very long time from Santa Fe. And so
a white girl, just to be clear.
Jane,
yes.
You don't know. She could have been Hispanic.
Slight possibility.
Yeah.
She damn sure wasn't
right,
black.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Even though we talk about, when you talk about the whole, in what you sent me, we talk about the LGBT community, and are we starting to open up in the right direction? I feel like we are, but I also kind of feel like that a little bit of it you can put in there about racism as well, right? And it's sad. James could probably tell you that pretty much everybody I ran around with that I'm still really close friends with are black. And, Tony Johnson happens to be one of them. I talk to her literally almost every single day. And it's sad to me. It's very, very sad to me that we as a society just can't open our minds and accept everyone for who they are versus the color of their skin or who they love or what they do behind closed doors. Who gives a crap what you do behind closed doors?
We have created what we say is the norm, and we think that everyone should fit underneath that umbrella. And that's just not the case. Because we've got rainbow umbrellas. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So let me ask you,
exactly.
What advice would you give to a kid growing up in a small town like how we did, who is afraid to come out?
There's so many different ways to describe that, right? It is, number one and foremost, just be yourself. For me, I haven't changed of who I am.
Right.
I'm still crazy. I'm still loud. I still like to be the center of attention.
That's Dickinson. That's the Dickinson
parties.
in you.
So I think it's just ultimately be yourself. And when you are ready to actually come out, I think that you have to make sure that you have surrounded yourself with a core group of people and be prepared for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But know that you've got that core group behind you, and no matter what happens to you, they're there for you to pick you up, to do whatever needs to be done to protect you.
Right.
That ultimately is what you need to do before coming out, especially in a small town.
It's scary.
It is, and small towns have a built-in burden for some reason. It's, like you said, my parents knew their other parents. Everyone knows everybody. There's almost this social baggage that you carry around in a small town. And like you said, sometimes you have to get away from it, create your own, new group who don't have that kind of historical baggage, and maybe that's where you find your center.
Right.
I have a 19-year-old daughter, and when I started talking to her about dating, 5th, 6th grade, when boys they get their boobs and boys are all, their balls are dropped a little bit. And I have always, because I didn't know, told my daughter, whoever you decide to date, a girl or a boy. I've always, always, always said that to her. I just have told her, I don't care who it is. Just don't bring home nobody dumb and ugly. Anything else I can deal with, you know? and I told her, you know, and I told her, I said, the only thing I'm going to want grandkids, even if it's grandpuppies. Can I have grandpuppies if you are lesbian? That's all I really ask. But I always wanted to have that open dialogue with her so that she felt comfortable. Would it be stuff that we would have to learn as parents? Absolutely. But that's just part of being a parent. Adjusting to things. But in that, we have taught her, and we hope that we are and continue to be big allies in the LGBTQ plus ZTS. What we added today? What letter?
The alphabet. The alphabet. I can't.
I cannot keep up. I can't.
I must be old school or something. But that LMNOP, the alphabet mafia that they talk about.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's a lot.
I can't. It is. It's a lot. It's a lot. I get it and I understand it and I respect it.
Yes.
But for me and my generation, we're still trying to wrap our head around all of that.
Yes, we really are. I'll never forget the day that my daughter, I picked up from school and she told me, "Oh, Miley Cyrus came out as pansexual." And my immediate question was, does that mean you have sex with kitchen appliances, cooking?
I had to Google it.
I didn't understand. I mean, it caught me off. I said, what does that mean? And when she described it, I was just like, but isn't that bisexual? I just want to be a supporter because I really don't care who anybody sleeps with. And I think we should all be treated the same, but I cannot keep up with the alphabets. I
can't either.
I can't. I mean, next week it might be a minus sign after the plus. I don't know. Let me ask you this. How can adults learn to be advocates for kids who are gay?
I think that to do that, to be that advocate, I think is to be part of that support group that individual needs. It's almost like you have to create your own family,
right,
if you will. Because you never know what may or may not happen with the real family.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
And so we have lots of friends who have created their own family.
Yeah.
Because, yes, family is blood, right? But family's not always blood.
That's right.
Family is who supports you. Family is who's got your back at all times. Right. Family is somebody that you can call at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm drunk on the side of the road and the popos are here. I need you to come get my car.
Yeah.
Type situation.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
So I think that's how adults can be supportive, is to be there to listen, to guide and direct the younger generation of what's right, and to just let them know that we're there for them to help them.
Yeah. And I have, that's something that I've always wanted to make sure I do, and it's just amazing to me how many of my daughter's friends would come to me for advice about coming out. And you're right, it's steps, because what I would have to explain to them is, this is going to be, if your parents have not, you hear their conversations, how they feel about gay people. If some of those conversations have not been well, you're really going to have to do this delicately. And I hate to say it, sometimes you do have to move away, and it's sad. But sometimes it's like for safety reasons, though. Because coming out can be dangerous. Yeah.
Oh, it can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's for a lot of people it is. It wasn't dangerous for me. Okay. But I didn't come out to my family until I was 40.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. So, everybody's journey through this is different.
Right.
I say that the younger generation, those that are at that 24 and younger, to me, have it so much easier as far as being able to say it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so much education now about it. But yeah, I didn't say anything to my family until I was 40.
Do you mind me asking how that went?
It went.
And that's
it's good. It's good. They love my other half, and you know, and that's ultimately all I can ask for. You know,
Right.
We do family trips together. We do Christmas together. You know, it's really good. You know, my sister has been a big supporter, and so has her husband. I mean, someone that, talk about growing up in a small town. He grew up in a very, very small town in East Texas, and did not even know a gay person until he met myself and my other half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we have opened his eyes.
I bet.
To what he thought. And, you know, we've actually lived in very small towns. The town that we lived in prior to moving to New Braunfels was in a little town called Aubrey, Texas.
Never heard of
just
it.
outside of Denton. I'll put it this way. You know how we always classify everything in what size football team they got, right?
What were they?
What a
3A.
Oh. They got a little baby town.
Yeah. We had a Sonic. And a Chicken Express.
Did they have a Dairy Queen?
No.
Ooh. That is
Chicken Express and Sonic. That's all we had.
Okay, for people who are not from the South, every small town has a Dairy Queen. That's just how you know you're in a small town. But when you're a small town and you don't even have a Dairy Queen, that's a toddler town. It's a toddler town. It ain't made it to small yet. So
yeah, and so, you know, we became friends with some very old blood, if you will, in that community. And, you know, to kind of give you an idea, the two brothers, their names were Benton and Bubba. You know, you're like, oh, what are they going to think? But, you know, I was invited to poker nights, and I played poker, and we'd go over there for dinner over to their family's house. And, you know, it just, and here I am going on a big hunting trip at the end of August with them.
Right.
And they made the comment to both of us that we completely changed their mind of what they thought of the gay community. And if we have done that, meaning myself and my other half have done that just by one person here and there, then we have done a big service for the gay community.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, I like that. So we're going to end. I know my audience is not used to us ending on such a positive and sweet note. Usually it's petty and awful. But when we get back from this break, as if I haven't been nosy enough, I'm going to get even more in Kenny Alexander's business, his real businesses, when we get back from this break. Welcome back to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. We are continuing our conversation with Kenny Alexander, who I think knows how to do everything. Is that fair to say, Kenny? You know how to do everything?
Well, I don't know if I know how to do everything, but one thing I will say is my other half always says, no matter what I touch, always turns to gold.
Well, my other half always says, Keisha, whenever you leave a room, you leave a lot of fucking glitter. It's kind of the same thing, I guess.
It is, absolutely.
I like how your better half is a lot more nicer than producer James, but he just acts rude now because I'm so damn rude. Okay. Now, you are a hunter and a baker. Where's the balance? How do you balance those two? Those are two different worlds.
They're very two different worlds. And so the bakery is a custom bakery, and it's run out of the house. I mean, it hasn't. We kind of closed shop for the last 7 months while our house is being built in New Braunfels, but it will start back up here in New Braunfels. But it's a custom wedding cakes, quinceañera cakes, birthday cakes, cupcakes, and pies. And so people just order on Facebook, and it's usually some local because I don't ship or anything like that, but I'll meet people halfway or things like that.
Okay. Because I'm gonna need you to meet me halfway then. Actually, when your house is done, can I just come stay with y'all for a little bit?
Yeah, y'all want to come float the river?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess up my wig. I don't do anything outside. But I can be like a cake tester.
How about sit on the edge of the cold water and drink a cocktail?
Oh.
I'll bring you a fan.
The water's crystal clear. You see everything. I'll bring you a fan. There we go. Outdoor air conditioner.
And a cupcake?
Yes.
I'm all yours. Okay, so I know you have a love for hunting. I'm married to James, who is a hunter. My dad is a hunter. My uncles are hunters. I'm not a big fan of hunting at all, Kenny. At all.
Mm-hmm.
And I really am not a fan of trophy hunting. So for some of our audience members, they may not know the difference. Can you break that down for us?
Sure. So there is Texas hunting, which is white-tailed deer, turkey, dove, quail, and of course the crazy amount of hogs, wild hogs that we have running everywhere, right?
Yes.
So I was born and raised doing that my whole life, and I was taught that whatever you harvest, that's the political term to say,
right,
or kill, right? You eat. You will only take what you will eat.
Right.
And so I can say that we hunt currently in the Hill Country in Mason, Texas, on the same property that I was born and raised hunting on.
Okay.
And so it's all of my cousins with their kids that are on the place. And so it's a whole nother generation of people. So it's not so much about the hunting, if you will. It is, I love it. But it's also the family gathering. There is wives in the group that don't hunt. My other half will hunt, but doesn't really care to hunt, but loves to cook for everybody.
Okay.
And will throw down in the kitchen for that. Now, when we talk about big game hunting, and I know I just came back from South Africa from hunting, but I didn't big game hunt. To a hunter, a big game hunting is really focused on the lion and the giraffe and the hippopotamus and those the crocodile. That's big game hunting.
Wait, people hunt hippos? Oh
yeah, they're the most deadliest animal. They kill more people than any other animal.
Oh, I know, because it's my favorite animal in the whole world. I love hippos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So people do hunt them. But
wow.
So when we went over, we went over to hunt antelope, a species of antelope, where there are millions upon millions upon millions of them running everywhere. And so we went over for that. So it's almost like hunting white-tailed deer here in the state of Texas.
Okay.
What was great about that and being over in South Africa was we did not get to bring any of the meat back. All of the meat was processed and given to the local school and orphanage. So
he trying to make me want to hunt, y'all. He trying to make me support hunting. James told you that I'm all about the kids. Okay, yeah. See, y'all set this up. No. Okay.
So the animals that I took will feed the children for 90 days.
Told you, Keisha.
Yeah. Goddamn. Okay. Because you can ask James and you can ask my dad. They sometimes try to make sure they don't tell me they're going hunting because I do a little voodoo and hope that they don't catch anything. And my dad literally said, I'm done telling you when I'm going hunting because when I do, I don't catch shit. So Now, we've talked a little bit about hunting. Now, what motivated you to start the OutSportsman? Which I love to play on the name.
So, yeah, so here's where the hate comes in.
Okay.
So there is an organization called the Dallas Safari Club. It's held, their big convention is held every year in Dallas in January. We're members of that. We go and walk around all the booths and see all the different outfits and outfitters around. It's not like clothing outfits, but like outfits and outfitters, people who guide people to hunt.
Okay, I'm glad you explained that because I sure thought y'all was shopping.
Yeah, not shopping for that, but shopping for hunting.
Okay.
So we walked around and we did that all the time, and it was always a dream of mine to be able to go overseas and go hunting. I've got certain animals that I would like to take, and there's a bucket list, and one of them was to go hunting in Ireland.
Okay.
And we had won a silent auction item because I ain't paying full price for nothing. So
that's that Wicked City in them right there.
So we had won a silent auction item. And when it was time to book everything through the outfitter in Ireland, they had sent an email basically asking who is the one hunter, who is the non-hunter, and what is the room accommodations. I simply gave one bedroom, king size bed, gave my name, gave my other half's name, and it kind of went silent. And at about 3 weeks after, I get an email back, and basically it was very blunt and said that our kind was not welcome and that they did not accept us and that they wanted to know how much money we spent on it and they would refund our money. So I told them I should have gone for the jugular and said like something ridiculous, but married to a preacher, so I had to be very Christian-like and say how much I actually spent. And so they mailed us the check and they sent us the money back. And that was probably my very first hate towards being gay that actually hit my heart. I've been let go from a job because of being gay, but never something that's so in my heart and in my life, which is hunting. And we were at dinner one night having Mexican food, having margaritas on the back patio with a friend of ours, Ida, and we're just chit-chatting, the three of us, and I just simply made the comment, I was like, there's got to be more gay and lesbian hunters that are out there. And not only that, but also allies, those who support the community and are okay with taking a gay man or a lesbian woman hunting or fishing or something like that. And so Ida just happened to look at me and she was like, made the comment, I said, why don't we come up with a brand? And my other half was like, that would be really cool. And we can start vetting these outfits and outfitters that accept everyone, regardless of race and color and sexual orientation. And Ida just looked at me and she goes, how about OutSportsman? And I was like, oh, that's a play on words. I like it.
Yeah.
And so I drew out on a piece of paper the logo and submitted it, had an artist draw it all out. And at that point, I started vetting by email and phone, vetting outfits and outfitters from all over the world that will accept anyone and everyone. And so we have a website. And we sold 700 hats in 1 month.
Oh, wow.
With the logo. We shipped them to Switzerland, New Zealand, Mexico, Spain, United States. And then we started an ability for people to shop online to where they can buy shirts and T-shirts and mugs and all kinds of stuff. And we have more allies that wear our stuff than we do the gay community and the lesbian community, and it's been fantastic. And the whole concept, going back to the very beginning of the show when we talk about people perceiving the gay community a certain way, right, is the whole concept behind OutSportsman is breaking the stereotype and bridging the gap.
Right.
And that's what we're all about, is break the stereotype of what people think we are supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then bridging the gap between what is very hetero industry, right?
Right.
So if people want to read the story, if somebody was interested in going hunting or fishing or anything like that, they can simply go to www.outsportsman.com, and they'll see if you and James wanted to head off to Alaska, you're going to see people who accept whoever. We've had people that have responded no, so they don't want to be on the website. We've had people just not respond at all, but we've had a lot say absolutely put us on the website. How much does it cost a month to be on the website?
Right.
And I've got to finish the communication, but Bud Light wants to sponsor the website.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we've been in talks with them, and right before COVID, we started communication with Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop. And so, there's talks there. I don't know what that looks like, but, who knows where it could take us.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the whole thought process behind this is get the merchandise out as much as we possibly can.
Okay.
To allow there to be acknowledgement about, allies and gay, lesbian hunters and fishermen out there in the community.
That is, first of all, one hell of a story. Congratulations. Part of me wants you to give me the email to those people who wouldn't let you go on that trip, because I want to Karen them out and write them a very harshly stern email and then put it all over my social media so everyone can attack them. That's just awful. But look at you now. Look, I mean, that's amazing, Kenny.
It's turning the negative into a positive.
That's right.
The Reverend just told me I need to change location.
Okay.
Real quick.
So I'll tell you what. We're going to take
a
a quick break, and then we'll be back with more Kenny Alexander. Alrighty, welcome back to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. So Kenny, you actually, you know how I feel about hunting, but the fact that you have gone to Africa and you've gotten up close and personal to the animals, what is that like?
A lot of people think that, they just come to a watering hole and you shoot them, right?
Well,
no,
that's what we see on Discovery Channel and stuff. Yeah.
Right. There were hunts. There were hunts that I walked 18, 20 miles a day just to get to be able to take a shot. And there's many times I missed. And you would get up and do it again the next day. But that's part of the hunt. That's why they call it hunting. They don't call it sitting.
But do you get scared when you're out walking in Africa? I mean, there's so many dangers.
Where we were located, we were in the southern portion of South Africa.
Okay.
So we were outside. We were just north of Port Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
So in that territory, it's what they call the plains area. So it's kind of like if you took the hill country, Fredericksburg.
Uh-huh.
If you took the hill country of Texas and merged it with New Mexico, that's what it looked like.
Okay.
But there's no lions. There's no lions in that part of South Africa. There are giraffes, but there's no elephants in that section of South Africa. It's mostly antelope, a lot of deer species, and they do have some of the wild cats, but not the big ones. They're kind of like what we know of a bobcat.
Yes.
That's kind of what's running around. But it was when you so used to going around and seeing animals in the zoo, right?
Yeah.
But then the next thing you know, you're walking and you're seeing these giraffes, 500-600 yards away from you, and you're watching them. It was unreal. It was just an unreal trip.
See, and I would mess up the whole trip because, first of all, this is how it would go. why do we got to be outside? That would be number one. Number two would be, why is it so hot in Africa? I don't understand why Africa is so hot.
It wasn't.
It's not like Texas heat.
No. When we went, the high was 74.
That's hot. Kitty, that's hot.
I'm dead.
Okay, look.
No, that's not hot.
I wear a wig, eyelash extensions, a face full of makeup. That's hot to me. I need it to be like 60. That's comfortable to me.
Well, I understand because it's big. That's big boy comfy too. But
Yeah.
74 was.
And I can just see myself out there like how you described when you could see the giraffes. I mean, literally, I would get on top of whatever vehicle we're on with a microphone and start singing The Circle of Life, because that's just what I would try to do. And then we would get ready to go back to, wherever we're going to stay the night at. And people be like, why is she trying to breastfeed that cub? Because that's just how much I love animals. Okay, so most people, what we know about hunting, I know about hunting from James and from my dad, but most people, they just see things on TV. What is the process of hunting? Like, how do you even know what gear to take with you?
So, like, if you're going to do a overseas trip, if you will, they actually send you a list of everything to pack.
Okay.
You know exactly what to take. I mean, where we went, we had daily laundry service.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't take much. I mean, we literally could take a backpack full of clothes, and that's all we needed, because we literally had clothes washed every day and when we were at dinner, they were put back on the bed.
Oh, I like that.
Of what we wore that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here in Texas, those of us that hunted our whole entire lives, you usually know, for winter months, you need warm clothes, you need wool socks. That's in the later season, of Texas hunting. A wool cap, something to cover your ears, and a scarf, and of course your gun and your ammo. But
How do you know
when we
which
talk
gun?
about early,
like, isn't it different guns for different? What is it?
There is. So, like, with birds and that type of things, you're going to take a shotgun. Now, it's up to you on determining what gauge of a shotgun you want, whether it's a 12 gauge, 20 gauge.
Mm-hmm.
That just depends. Over, under, you got to decide on what you really want to take.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to deer hunting, it's a rifle.
Okay.
And you got so many different types of rifles. I have friends that get all involved and really, really heavily involved with the gun stuff, as far as, what size it is, and, what's it made of, and do you have a silencer on it, and all that kind of. Girl, I still shoot the same gun I shot when I was 12.
Oh.
My dad bought it for me. I don't know anything about it. All I know is the shells that I need to buy, and it works.
Okay, so we don't have to so in order to go hunting, you don't have to John Wick where you've got a closet full of different guns and you pick a different gun for each person you're going to kill and stuff like that.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
No. Now
okay.
It sounds like James might be a little bit of a collector, a little bit.
And so is my
dad. The way
dad.
that he laughed when you said that.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
they're trying to tell you, oh, I got to have this gun for this animal, this
They
gun
lie.
for that. They lying. They're lying.
Okay. See, I don't.
Secrets out, buddy.
So we don't do that for hunting. I have.
James, yeah, he's right. They don't use guns to hunt. They hunt with knives.
Well, I hunt hogs with dogs and knives.
Yeah.
Dogs and knives. Hey, James, let's hook it up so OutSportsman can come and do it.
I would love to.
Oh, that would be
great.
I want to be a part. I don't know.
You ain't going outside.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that part. I'm going to be with your other half. How about that?
So we can do that.
Okay.
All right.
In the fall is a great time to start because it's not too hot. You can get a full day in, and we got an island outside of Matagorda that's about 400 acres of nothing but wilderness, full of pigs.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm all for it.
It was my idea. Thank you. You guys are welcome. Okay.
Yeah, back to the show.
Right. So, although I'm not a fan of hunting by any means, but I am a fan of eating. and I really love eating desserts. Where did that all start? How did you get into baking?
So, as everybody knows, I can probably sell ice to an Eskimo.
I had kind of tell, yeah.
And so, with my other half being a preacher, and we had started a company called Banny Under Events. Mm-hmm. And what that company did was we did day of wedding coordinating.
Okay.
And so he would preach and do the service, and we would also do the day of wedding coordinating mm-hmm. for that day. So the bride just sat back and relaxed, and we handled everything.
Right.
Well, we were doing that for a bride, and the mom and the bride met with my other half, and they were discussing what the day was going to look like, and then this and that. And we also have linens and glassware, and they all rent all that kind of stuff from us and everything. Mm-hmm. And she goes, well, we're doing everything with y'all. She goes, do y'all bake? And before my other half could say no, I said, yes, I bake.
James, does that remind you of someone?
Oh, my God.
That's our life. I was like, I can do that. I don't know how, but I can do it.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I bake. And he's kicking me under the table. And so he speaks up and tells them, well, we can do a cake tasting.
Okay.
I said, sure, we can do a cake tasting. Sure, what kind you want? And so she says, she goes, I want the traditional wedding cake, nothing fancy, buttercream. And I said, all right, not a problem. So we scheduled a wedding cake tasting.
Uh-huh.
And out of 5 other bakeries out of Dallas, she chose mine. I never baked a cake before in my life.
It's a natural gift to you. You can just do it.
It's called YouTube University.
I'm a believer in it, because there's been quite a few times where I'm like, I can do that. Go home, got to YouTube it. I can still do it. I did it. So,
right. And so that's how the bakery got started, and it's called Sweet Ruthie's Bakery. Is how it got started, and it blew up.
Right.
I mean, to where I was, I guess, the April of last year, during COVID, I was traveling too much for work for my real job. Mm-hmm. And I turned down 40 orders for the month of April. And so
40 orders for 1 month.
For 1 month. And so I've done a lot of wedding cakes, lots of wedding cakes.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's how it all turned out and came about. And, so on Facebook, we have Sweet Ruthie's Bakery.
Okay.
On Facebook, we have OutSportsman.
Okay.
And then as far as Instagram is concerned, we've got OutSportsman on Instagram.
Okay.
We have websites for OutSportsman, but then we also have the shopping, for people that want to buy anything from OutSportsman, and you can get to it through the website, or you can just type in the URL shop.outsportsman.com.
Okay.
And you can purchase there. And I bet your store would probably sell some hats and shirts.
And some
we might just need to send you some.
We would absolutely love that. Now, let me ask you. I have an obsession with cake, and also an obsession with baking competitions. Okay. Don't try to contact me all during Halloween season, Christmas, Easter, because I feel like I'm part of the contest. And I take it very seriously. And, I can tell them, no, they need to throw a little something on there for some crunch. I'm like, those 3. And now I can't bake for shit, okay? But I can taste very well. Would you ever do a baking competition on the Food Network?
Yeah, I think I would. You're kind of, it's funny that you say that. The Great Baking Championship at Christmas time, the Halloween one.
That's my favorite.
Don't bother me because I'm watching them also.
Yes.
And but I think I would if, I have a good friend of mine that did one.
Uh-huh.
She was on the wedding cake one.
Okay.
And so she said it was a blast, but very stressful.
I
Very,
bet.
very, very stressful.
Yeah.
But she did say it was blessed. But yeah, I definitely would do it.
I would do it with you.
Oh, that would be fun. We might not get anything done, but
no. But I will make sure you look good. We're gonna look good as a team, okay?
yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna look good. We're gonna charm the hell out of the judges, that's for sure. Like, and if you can bake like you say you can, and I believe you, I think it's unlocked. We need to do this. We need to start filling out the paperwork for next season.
Look, I know for a fact that both of y'all walking between the raindrops, son of a bitches, would win. You know, Kenny, Keisha won a chili cook-off, cooking her chili for the first time half an hour before the competition, and she won.
And I made it with pure hate. I hate cooking. I cannot stand it. And people are like, it's so good. What's your ingredient? I'm like, hate. A little bit of sweat. Hate and a little bit of sweat.
Absolutely.
Now, what is your favorite thing to bake?
I would say probably cupcakes are probably my favorite thing to bake.
Okay.
And one in particular that I do that everyone always wants is the Texas whiskey cake. And so I use the TX whiskey to make the cupcake and the buttercream.
Literally, James is over here drooling over his equipment.
I think I just came. Literally.
He said he just came.
There's a possibility.
Yeah. Okay, so that is your favorite thing to bake. What is your favorite dessert to eat?
To eat?
Yes.
You know, I don't have that big of a sweet tooth.
That's good, because you'd weigh probably like 1,000 pounds if you did, being a baker.
Right. But, you know, if we are going to have something, it's probably bread pudding.
That's a good one.
Bread pudding with the whiskey sauce over the top of it.
Now, Kenny, do you make cheesecakes?
I do, but I don't do them as well as my other half can make them.
Okay, so when we get done with this interview, just when you're whispering sweet love notes into your other half's ear, just tell him lemon raspberry cheesecake. And
oh yeah,
I will drive to you.
She'll send me.
We're not far.
Y'all are not. No, I want to go see, because I love Kenny now, so I have to go with you. Y'all do that. I'll bring y'all some barbecue from down this way, and I'm gonna eat all the cheesecake. I'm not gonna want to share it with anybody.
Which barbecue joint though?
No, I'm gonna get my daddy to do it, because
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was fixing to say, because there ain't nothing there in Dickinson.
Well, look, they think it's barbecue. But not so much. Okay, so Kenny, one more time before we wrap things up. If people want to find you, I know you just mentioned, but just one more time, how they can find you on social media, websites, and if you got anything upcoming that you want us to know about, let us know.
Yeah, so again, OutSportsman is www.outsportsman.com. You can also click there to find anything hunting, fishing related, or even photo safaris if you just want to go on a trip and take photos.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to purchase merchandise, you can do it through that site.
Okay.
Or you can just go to shop.outsportsman.com. Go look at the products. Keisha, I'll send you some stuff. If you wanted to put in the store, we'll get some stuff done.
Okay.
I know Erin's been dying to buy some stuff as well.
That girl's a mess.
Well, you know, we're actually cousins. So.
Oh, because she's related to everyone in Dickinson.
Everybody in Dickinson, yes. Yes. If it's a Suderman, a Trapoto, a Trapata, a Bionda, they all related.
They're
somehow,
all related.
Italians everywhere.
Yep.
All the names that ends in a vowel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're also on Instagram. On Instagram, OutSportsman on Instagram, and then we also have a TikTok as well. OutSportsman does, and then as far as Sweet Ruthie's Bakery, it's just actually we've got the website up, which is www.sweetruthiesbakery.com, and then we also have a Facebook page called Sweet Ruthie's.
Now, for Sweet Ruthie's, do you guys have T-shirts or cute little aprons or anything?
No, not yet. We haven't thought about doing that. But look Let me know what you think. Look at the logo.
Okay.
It's a Tiffany's blue and brown.
Can't go wrong with that.
I know. So look at it. Let me know what you think. Some people may want it. I don't know.
And if you ever need like a face for Sweet Ruthie's, my name can be Ruthie.
You kind of look like an old school Ruthie.
I know, right? I do look like a Sweet Ruthie. Like, that bitch looks like she like cake.
Right.
So, yeah, that made me sales go all the way up. Like, you just get a chubby, cute black girl on the cover, and people are like, the shit must be good. So,
well,
I mean, we lost.
Yeah, and Sweet Ruthie's came about because I used all of my great-grandmother and my other half-great-grandmother's recipes.
Oh.
And so that's how it came about.
I can tell you.
Who's not going to buy from an old lady?
Yeah. Kenny, I cannot wait for us to actually meet face to face. This has been fantastic. You have introduced my audience to a whole new world, because we basically just look at TMZ and memes all day. That's the Libra Lounge audience. But, you telling us about hunting and things like that, and you actually have me thinking about hunting. Shut up, James. He's over there like, I told you.
Light.
A whole, especially when you told me that you fed those little snot-nosed kids in Africa, the little orphans.
Oh wait, and here in Texas, there's a thing called Hunters for the Hungry, and if you don't want to eat what you killed, you just tell your processor that you take it to, and they'll donate all the meat to the Hunters for the Hungry.
Yeah, we used to do that a lot with wild pigs. One year we donated, I think, about 800 pounds to Hunters for the Hungry.
Yeah.
It sounded better when Kenny said it, though.
It basically, the way I look at it, I'm philanthropic. That's the way.
I mean, you really are. You really are.
In a way, right?
You really are. And you never
In a way.
know. One day I may join you on a safari, but I'm just going to take pictures and stuff like that. But I want to stay in a really nice hotel where I can see a giraffe just crossing over in the morning time.
Well, we might get you out to the deer lease, and you can stay here in this RV.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna be outside. Because I won't be outside. That's for sure.
No, we got two big old air conditioners in this thing.
Yes. Okay, Kenny, thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to see. You guys are going to go far. Congratulations. And if there's anything we can ever do, just let us know.
Thank you so much, and y'all have a blessed one.
You too. Bye-bye.
The Libra Lounge with Keisha. The Libra Lounge with Keisha.
Bitch, please. You be rolling down the street, telling stories. Bitch, you never tell the truth. Bitch, please. Everybody know you lying, bitch, cause all you do is lie.
We want to thank you guys for tuning in. I also want to remind you to make sure you're following us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on iTunes. We would love it if you would leave us a message. We're also on the totally got tongue-tied.
Okay.
We're also on TuneIn app, Laughable app, and iHeartRadio. Is there anything else?
Patreon and 5-star reviews.
Only 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
If it's 4.5, just don't even look at it. It needs to be 5.
Just don't bother.
Just don't even bother, because you're wasting everyone's time, and you're probably risking getting cussed out, on air. All right, it is time for the bitch please of the week from the Libra Lounge. So this isn't like, sometimes we have bitch pleases and someone's done something really outlandish, but sometimes we give advice, right?
Sometimes.
So I guess because it's summertime, lonely people start realizing just how single they are in the summertime. And to me, I think that's the perfect time not to be cuddled up with someone, because it's too fucking hot to be all holding hands, giving hugs, kissing. It's just too hot to do that. But a lot of people don't have to worry about that, because so many people are taking to these dating apps instead of just going out to meet people, which, you know what, I think that's really good for people who are introverted and just don't know how to go up to someone and start a conversation. Producer James used to be like that, right?
Used to, I guess.
You better not be doing it currently.
No, I mean, I'm more outgoing
than he used to be.
Used to be.
Yeah. So I get it. And people are busy, people have jobs and hobbies and kids and school and all those kind of things. But I was listening to this show and they were talking about online dating, and something was mentioned, and this happens to me quite a bit. And so I just wanted to give my take of it. So I think that one of the stupidest things that you can do to make sure that you stay single is when you go to message someone and you just say, hey, like, what is that? What? Hey? Just hey.
Just a one word.
Just a one word hey. And a lot of guys do that. They just put hey. To me, I'm like, is there a part 2 to the question? Did you accidentally send this to me? Because to me, when you're saying just hey, that's familiar territory. That's someone that you're familiar with. If we've never met and you're trying to go out with me, get in my pants, whatever, not with hey, because if you send me, if I were single, if you send me a hey, I'm going to do one of 2 things. I'm going to either ignore the message entirely, or I'm going to send you back. See, that's why your goofy ass is single now. Because you don't even know how to start a motherfucking conversation. Hey, how about, hey, I saw that we have a couple of mutual friends. Okay, stalker. I can take a stalker. I like to be stalked a little bit. I can say, hey, how are you doing? Even though that's super lame, but that's better than just hey. But how about, hey, look, I saw your profile. You're really pretty. I just thought I would introduce myself. My name is so-and-so, and I just wanted to say how you were doing. To me, that is someone, even though that's the bare minimum, but that's what men like to give anyway, is the bare minimum. That is how you start a conversation. You don't start a conversation with hey.
Hey seems like that's what you yell at your husband
Hey!
Across the room, across the house.
Because you know why?
Familiar.
We're familiar with one another. Yep. But when you're trying to woo someone, you cannot woo someone with hey, unless it's like code for weed, then yeah. But just hey, no, that's not gonna get you. No, I tell you what. If you're single and you know that you have sent out about 20 messages and they all said hey, and you've not received anything back, the advice that I'm giving you right now is golden. Okay, just type a few more words on there. Shit, hey, how's the weather? I mean, at least that's trying to start a conversation, because when you say hey, you're not asking me anything.
Yeah, you're not setting up.
You're not setting up for a conversation, because a bitch like me, I'll just send you this emoji, the little hey emoji. Hey, because to me that's just so lazy.
Well, it's like, imagine if you walked up to someone on the street and just said hey and left it there. What the fuck?
What? No.
What are we supposed to do with that?
No, because that person's gonna be wondering, what the is this a Ponzi start? Like, if I respond, do I automatically sign up for some Ponzi scheme? I mean, it's just do a little bit more, man. Like, I don't even know. But we have let men get away for far too long with just doing the bare minimum and saying hey is the bare minimum. And here's the thing. You're probably going to get your feelings hurt a lot more with your hey and get no response than you just saying, hey, I watched one of your reels. You're pretty funny. Or, hey, that's all you like this movie. I like this movie too.
Yeah, that at least shows you cared enough to find out just enough to use it as a conversation starter.
Yeah, but like, it would not be a good idea if you say, oh, I saw you had lunch yesterday and so it's a restaurant, and you had breakfast at this restaurant 2 weeks ago. I noticed you were that. No, that's stalking. We do stalking in secret. Okay, we don't let the stalkee know that we are stalking them. You know, we're just trying to help some of y'all out, because we like to see people happy and in love. Because some of y'all just destined to be single because y'all just dumb. Producer James, you want to add anything else?
No, I think we pretty much pissed off all the single part of the audience.
Okay, hey, we'll see you guys next week.
It's the Libra Lounge. The Libra Lounge. Ooh.